Direct from Amityville Memorial High School. This is Coach's Corner, streaming to you live on the Amityville Broadcasting Network, the number one place for Amityville news and sports. I'm your host, Godfrey Pons. And with me right now are fellow co-hosts Gregory Dickerson, as well as producers Mr. Cimino and Dino Wood, who are running the show from behind the scenes. Today on Coach's Corner, we are interviewing with Miss Julie Dexter, the girls' varsity volleyball coach at the high school. Now, the girls' volleyball team did get to finish their season last year. They were actually lucky enough to avoid the whole coronavirus situation. But this year, the team, like all other sports in Amityville, has had their season delayed at least until the spring. It sure is an uncertain time for Amityville sports. Coach Dexter, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's start us off with the easy questions. The first question I have for you is, which players do you think developed a lot last year? And who do you think is going to be ready to lead the team this year?
Oh, you want me to call out the players now?
Yeah.
Well, varsity, I don't have a list of my players with me, so I'm probably not going to just call out specific names. But overall, we had a great season. We did have half the team of seniors graduate, so we are looking forward to moving up some of our JV players to play on varsity this coming season. And our varsity girls did such a great job. I know some of them are playing in the off season as well, skill development. So it's a developing program, and we're looking forward. We were looking forward to a great season this year, and I'm, a little sad for our seniors this year. Not sure if they'll get to play or not.
Yeah.
But I guess I can shout out some names. I have Kayla Marrero, who's been practicing with her setting. So she was a good setter for our varsity team. So she'll be returning as our setter. I know she's working in a club program in the off season to increase her skills.
South Beach
The
Volleyball
South
Club, right?
Bay Volleyball Club. Yes. So, and then we have some JV players. Sanaya Carter is working on her setting as well with the South Bay Volleyball. Adriana Velasquez is with us as well. So,
and they're not seniors yet, are they?
The seniors, well, the seniors that no, we don't have any seniors playing for outside of the school.
Oh, okay. So, I want to talk about how you deal with adversity. Like, how do you deal with all the challenges in this hard division? How would you prepare for the games?
Well, we prepare and practice. We run tough practices, make sure the girls know how to handle the ball and make sure it goes where we want it to go. So, just practice, good practices.
Coach, how important is chemistry when it comes to putting together a volleyball team? Because everybody, I guess, has a defined role, whether you're a passer, setter, attacker. So I know you talked about developing some setters, but how difficult is it to need to balance kind of all those facets of the game to have a smooth transition?
Well, that goes without saying. The kids have to kind of like each other and play together, become a little mini family within the volleyball team. Learn to trust each other and encourage each other. So I think we saw a lot of that last year. The girls just playing to have fun and, playing, supporting each other.
Yeah, that's what really matters, having fun.
It's very important that they support each other, good or bad.
So last year, 0-10 in the league, 0-12 overall, but record doesn't mean everything. And you mentioned it before, they're having fun, they're working hard, but you are in a tough division and you have really tough competition. I'm just curious, do you like the fact that you have such tough competition? Do you find that brings out the best in the girls? Or could it be frustrating sometimes when you're not necessarily, even though you have the effort and everybody's having fun, you're not necessarily getting those wins?
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's a little of both. The girls have to play harder, but you're playing against a tough competition. Kids that play year round in different clubs, larger schools. It's frustrating because the girls, you got to throw a win in there once in a while to keep the girls kind of motivated. Nobody likes to, be the loser all the time. You're building a lot of character, but at some point, you've got enough character. Now let's play a good game and win something.
Absolutely. Greg, do you have a question you'd like to ask?
Yeah, there's a couple of questions I want to ask you, and one of them is what are your thoughts on playing time?
Playing time.
Yeah.
Well, fortunately in Amityville, we have small teams, so everyone plays a good amount. Everyone gets in the game.
And what's your fit? And the other question is while we do the simple practices, the practices plan.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
While we do a simple practice plan.
Oh, a practice plan. Want me to give out my secret practice plan?
We need blueprints. We're going to sell them
Top
online.
Basically, it's to get game ready. Okay, I believe in a lot of scrimmaging and actual game type play. Give them a tough practice so that they can be prepared for a game.
And what's your favorite coaching memory?
My favorite coaching memory?
Yes.
I think when it's nothing specific, but when the girls execute a great play and get a great kill and they all kind of come together and have those smiles on their faces, and that's my favorite part of the whole thing.
And how do you deal with conflict on your team?
Confidence?
Conflict.
Oh, conflict.
Yes. How do you deal with that?
Just address it straight on, head on, ASAP, deal with it as quickly as possible and move on.
Okay.
All right, Coach. So Godfrey had mentioned it before. You were lucky enough to get your season in last year before
Yes.
COVID-19 kind of took over. But you haven't really been able to do much since. So I know you mentioned some girls are playing with outside organizations. What are you able to do, or if anything, between the end of your season last year and where we are right now, especially since you weren't able to start your season on time?
Yeah, and not much, actually. Not much at all. We did have middle school season that ended in January. So we had the middle school kids, which are my future JV. Some of them are my future JV players. So nothing much other than planning in my head, just how we're going to, hopefully get back to it and get right into it as soon as possible. Whenever we get the green light, I'm ready to go.
Coach Dexter, how are you feeling right now about this year's season? Do you feel like you'll even get a chance to practice or even see the players this year?
Oh, like I said, I'm ready to go. I don't know if we'll have the opportunity. I'm hopeful with this vaccine being distributed in January. Hopefully something will happen. We have a target date of March to get our high school players playing, and I'm going to remain very positive and hopeful that may be able to happen. And and if it doesn't, if the competitions don't happen, I'd like to at least get in, practices. Let the girls at least work on their skills.
Yeah. So this year, Amityville is taking on this SAFE initiative that Athletic Director Mr. Farkas has started in response to some of the social injustice issues going on. And
right.
Hopefully, we're all trying to stay positive here. You do have an opportunity to have your season. Has there been any conversation at all about how maybe you can use your platform or the girls on your team can use their platform as student athletes to try and promote social justice issues?
Well, that's one thing I did truly regret about us not having a season, is being able to talk to my girls about what they wanted to do. I want it to be driven and led by their thoughts and their ideas of how they can create some type of change. What did they see happening? What would they like to do? So that's my take on it. Put it in their hands and help them come up with a plan.
You're listening to Coach's Corner here. We're with Coach Dexter of the Amityville Varsity Volleyball team, and thank you again for coming on with us. So we're just going to pretend COVID's not going on. We're going to stay positive. Hopefully your season kicks off in March. So with that being said, assuming everything's going on as planned, you mentioned that you lost a lot of seniors last year. What do you need, or what are you looking for early on in the first days or weeks of practice from your crop of girls this year to try to fill the void? Not even so much necessarily on the court, but from a leadership standpoint that you lost with your seniors.
Yeah. So we look for girls that actually want to be a part of the team. and girls that have the personality that can work with a team, no one that has any, better than anyone attitude, someone that really wants to be part of the team and contribute, someone who can be honest about it, contribute.
And how important would you say that leadership is? I mean, as a coach, do you prefer kind of a veteran team where everybody just shows up and knows what's going on, or is it almost more fun or more invigorating when you kind of have to break it down and start over again?
I take it as it comes. I don't have a preference either way. I love teaching them, whether they're veterans, whether they're newbies, whatever they are. You just deal with what you have, what you're working with, and adjust your situation to who you have.
What's a skill this year that you want to see your team help and get better to improve on last year that you think could help get your squad to the next level?
Yeah, just better hitting. I think better hitting across the net, just getting more kills, scoring some points that way, which comes down to team chemistry a lot too.
Yeah.
Is there anything on your team is there any skill that you think your team is really good at?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Is there any skill that you think your team is particularly good at?
I think overall, I don't think they dominate in any one field. There's a lot of skills in volleyball you have to master, so I think they're well-rounded.
It's better to be well-rounded than to only one skill.
All right, so who should we keep our eyes on this year? Who do you think is the standout player going into this season for you?
I think it's going to be Quinasia Anthony and Kayla Marrero.
Okay, and what is it about their game specifically that stands out?
I think it's just their technique, their playing abilities, and the effort that they put in.
Sounds good. Well, do you guys have any further questions? Okay. All right. Well, Coach, we thank you so much for giving us a few minutes of your time. We're all crossing our fingers and hoping that this season happens. And if it does, you can better believe we'll be out there with you.
We're ready. We're ready to go, ready to bring whatever we can for the girls. 100%.
Excellent. We're all looking forward to it. It'd be great. We'll get a match on a broadcasting network here. We'll cover you guys that way as well.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Absolutely.
We need that. Yes.
We'd be honored to do it. So again,
you.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Okay, my pleasure.
This has been Coach's Corner here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Special thanks to Dina Wood producing this, setting this up for us. Paul Cimino, our executive producer, working behind the scenes. Godfrey Pons, Gregory Dickerson, and of course, Coach Julie Dexter for joining us today. I'm Matt Grice. This has been Coach's Corner on the Amityville Broadcasting Network, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.